we to talk about this in a couple of different ways. We talk about it a little bit about what is high impact well-being when we say that. What's it really mean? And then really break it into three sections. We're going to talk a little about engagement, which is, I would argue, a lot more than just participation. We'll talk about making the business case, and we'll talk about measurement. And to me, those are microcosmic stories of what high impact well-being is and what it isn't. It's not just looking after your people because it's the right thing to do or because it makes you feel good. It's because you can really unlock the performance of your workforce. And that's when we think about what we're trying to do. Why Thrive was founded, kind of been a passion of mine. It's really about what would happen if we actually unlocked the workforce, the potential of the workforce. And that's high impact well-being. But to do that, we have to accomplish several different things. And really, this pandemic has been a catalyst that has fast forwarded the future of work. The thing that really struck me from this is this line that Ariana has used as well, is that employee well-being is no longer a benefit. It's no longer a program. It is actually a strategy, and it's at the C-suite of companies. And we're seeing this more and more where it's no longer just an extra benefit that's out there. It's really centered to what people are doing. And so we're going to talk about that and how do you create the business case. Well, look, stress is unavoidable, but stress is actually not what kills you. It's cumulative stress, right? And we know now from the science that in 60 to 90 seconds, you can actually disremediate the impact of cumulative stress by introducing some form of breathing, gratitude, some way to break the spell of constant interaction with technology. So what we have is something called resets, which takes actually like mindfulness or box breathing, some techniques that were developed that really have been shown in the labs to do a great job of shifting the brain from the parasympathetic to the sympathetic nervous system, changing the hormone imbalances in the body, and then actually saying, okay, now you're back to a non-stress state. So this is the idea that in 60 to 90 seconds, you can totally change your brain chemistry. And the way that we do resets is inside our digital app, you can actually create your own. You combine things that bring you joy, whether that's pictures of your family or a beautiful place or something that brings you joy and happiness, and combine that with music that speaks to you. You do that in a 60-second burst where it walks you through a breathing exercise at the same time. When you start to take that break on focusing on something that brings you joy, when you combine that with breathing, controlling the breath, you actually get almost a meditative state coming into the brain. And you can do that in 60 to 90 seconds. So we're doing that through integrations with Teams, Slack, Zoom, thework.com that I mentioned earlier, and we're exploring even more. That's one example of that.